ये सबसे मज़ेदार क्वेश्चन है. So Weem's next question was about aviation scams. There are innumerable scams about aviation. It's like the medical field right now. You can just paise do and anything and everything is possible, from like fake licenses to. So basically, I am an aerospace engineer by profession, and I later decided to do my commercial pilot license. And now, currently, I am working in COVID screening. So that's a little about me. Otherwise, I was born in Bombay, India. So yes, I can speak Hindi if you guys would prefer that. तो हाँ, मैं बॉम्बे में पैदा हुई थी और फिर मैं मिडिल ईस्ट शिफ्ट हो गई, जहाँ मैं यहाँ अभी ऑलमोस्ट 20 साल रह रही हूँ. So like my dream was always like, since I was 10, I always wanted to be a pilot. And after, like, typical every parents are like, engineering karo. So I did it for my parents, and after my engineering I decided like, okay, now I need to do what I want to do, which is to become a pilot. And I went ahead with my commercial pilot license. Veem's next question was, what are the CPL job opportunities during the pandemic? Unfortunately, the real honest truth, which most people don't tell you, but this is from someone who is searching for a job during the pandemic, is there are little to no jobs. And I have been trying to find something for the last 6 to 8 months, but unfortunately, there's nothing, nowhere. And even with a lot of money and whatever influence you can pull, there's unfortunately nothing. Aviation has been one of the worst professions that has been hit by COVID, and it's honestly going to take 2 to 3 years to come back. So if you're going to start training now, yeah, maybe if you finish in 2 years, you might have some opportunities. But sadly, for people like us, right now getting an airline job is really difficult. It's not impossible. There are people I know who are still getting it, but it's a lot of prayers and good luck and fortune and money, and yeah, that's how it is. Veem's next question was one of the most common questions that I face all the time during every, like, what is this live session, is what are the hurdles females face? I didn't face many, but yes, one common hurdle that I did face was a lot of the people do judge you. They just believe that because you're a girl, you wouldn't be able to perform the same way that a guy would perform, and they always try to push you down without even giving you a chance. And even when you do perform well, they do not praise you. They push you back. They don't have expectations from you, and even when you outperform them, you outshine, they don't really cheer you. But at the same time, I know a few men, because this is a completely male dominated industry. Now it's picking up with females in it. I knew a few men who were like my strength, and only because of them I could finish my training the way I did. And I think I did a really good job in the end, and that is only because of the training that I received from those certain men. But yes, I mean, this is one of the common hurdles, that there is still that misconception that this is a man's field, women are not meant to be here. So a little discrimination here and there does happen, but you just have to you have to shut your eyes, like, जैसे घोड़ा भागता है, आंखें बंद करो और बस like कुछ नहीं देखते हो तो बस भागते रहो, like till you reach the end, till you reach your goals, because in the end that's what you want to do. And the best part is, a plane is a plane. It वो नहीं देखता है कि like कौन चला रहा है उसको, आदमी चला रहा है या औरत. It just behaves the same whether you like as a man are flying it or me as a woman I'm flying it. And that is the best part of this profession. ये सबसे मज़ेदार क्वेश्चन है. So Weem's next question was about aviation scams. There are innumerable scams about aviation. It's like the medical field right now. You can just paise do and anything and everything is possible, from like fake licenses to fake everything. Like, there are people who just don't do anything and have their CPL certificates. At the same time, it is also training organizations that dupe students most times. In terms of, I'll give you an example. They'll tell you we have 10 aircraft, but they actually have 2. So you're flying, instead of taking an average of 18 months, takes 36 months, because obviously there's like 2 aircraft. Another common thing is they'll tell you we have so and so instructor for this subject and that subject. In the end, you just have one instructor or two instructors, and your knowledge gets limited very badly because of that. You're not actually learning, you're just like mugging up stuff and going for exams, which is not the right way, because flying is a very like hands-on profession. It's very application based. You have to think all the time because the weather is different every day. The conditions of like the conditions in the aircraft are different every day. Everything is different. There's no flight which is exactly the same. Like even one flight, if you do it half an hour apart, is never the same. It's completely different, especially when it comes to the wind, weather, and like other factors, you know. So keeping all this in mind, I've seen a lot of like flight schools just charge an exorbitant amount of money for like classes to join in the beginning, like these tests that they conduct, and they tell you if you pass these tests we'll take you, when they already have like a fixed quota. Like some of them, they'll only take 6 students, but they'll have a test for say 3,000 students. So you're paying that, that um, application fee, and then you don't get it, and then you start like believing that there's something wrong with you, but actually there's nothing wrong with you. It's just games that these schools play with, with students and their minds, that you didn't get in because there's something wrong with you. So don't ever believe that. The other common scams that I would say are towards the end, when you're at the end of the training, they'll start bringing up things like you're not good, you need extra classes, not classes, I'm sorry, you need extra flights, or you need to do extra simulator time. I don't say that's a bad thing, but when it becomes a money making agenda, it's really bad, because one simulator session or one additional flight does cost a lot, and it can burn holes in your pockets. So when schools start doing that to just earn a little bit of extra money, especially during this pandemic, schools have resorted to ridiculous tactics to just get some money from students. Like if you don't attend this one day, we need extra money from you. All this wasn't there. It's coming up now, but unfortunately, it is a sad part, and like the worst kind of scam is like the worst, and I'm literally telling you the worst, is when you join and they tell you as soon as you finish, we have an airline job waiting for you, because of which you invest close to 1 crore Indian rupees, or around say 70,000 euros or $80,000, in this. In the school, because you assume that yes, as soon as you finish, you're gonna get a job, and you're able to recover the money that you have spent for this course. Unfortunately, that is not true. Unless you know a student from that school who has got a job through this, unless you see a contract signed between that airline and the school, do not believe anything like this. It is completely false. All okay, most flight schools do use this, like they promise you that yes, we have students from here and there, and they have been recruited because of us. It's really not true. This is why most flight schools get students. There's probably like 1 or 2 flight schools which actually genuinely have connections with an airline, so you could get a job with them through that. So double check everything, talk to ex students. When I was joining, I found someone from my school, and I got in touch with him. We spoke about random things. Still in the end, there were so many unanswered questions, and that led to, like it was 2 years of discovering new things every single day. Every single day was different. So I would really, really like stress on finding answers to all your questions before you join, so that you have the most smoothest experience ever. In this video, the last thing that I would like to talk about is failures. When you are in the aviation profession, a lot of failures happen, but that is not the end of the world. You must always remember that a plane takes off against the wind, not with the wind. So every time there's a failure, you need to remember that, and just push yourself and take off again, because you take off, you're gonna land, you're gonna take off, you're gonna land. There are always going to be high points, there are always going to be low points in your life. Aviation is no different, and especially commercial pilot license. This is something which is so stressful, and it is also something wherein you're in charge of. You're a commercial pilot, you're going to be in charge of 180 lives tomorrow, I don't know, maybe 500 lives tomorrow. It's all on you. You are taking responsibility completely for these people. So, you cannot blame yourself if things go wrong. You need to pick yourself up, learn from your mistakes, and go on. The failures that I personally faced were, yes, sometimes things were difficult. I took time to understand them. I took time to learn them. When I was doing it practically, it might have been easier for my peers, but sometimes I did struggle. But in the end, like when it comes to the skill test, you forget everything and you just give it your best shot. And all those 2 years that you struggle, you just comes down to that one day, to your 3 hours of your skill test, and you give it your best, and that's it. Like, it's all worth it in the end. So I would definitely like recommend you all to have this feeling, because literally there is no better feeling than flying. And once you've looked up, you always look up. It's I know people say driving is fun, and I don't know, scuba diving is fun, but flying, it's another feeling, and many of you should experience it. Like, get a fam flight. It's like a 1 hour flight where you can just relax and get a hang of the controls, feel it, and then decide, like, if this is meant for you or not. If it's not, no problem. There's so many fields in aviation. Like, I'm an aerospace engineer. Like, if this doesn't work for me, I can always go back. I can do my engineering. There's tons of research going right now in aerospace. Or I don't know, maybe I continue with COVID screening if things don't work out. But yes, you must always have plan A, B, and C, because as the pandemic has taught us, plan A is not enough, and we need plan B, and we need even plan C, because really, like, this year has been very unpredictable, and I hope next year is better for you, for me, for all of us. mm, that's about it. My best wishes to all of you. If you guys want to ask me questions on becoming a pilot, and on my journey, and how I'm continuing to work towards becoming an airline pilot next year, you guys can just message me. I'm always there. I will reply back to you, and I will help you out. I will guide you. Or you can just talk to Veem, and he will get in touch with me, and hopefully the next time we will be able to do a live session, and it will be better than this. So thank you so much for having me, for asking these questions, for just being able to help you guys out. It was a really good one. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.